Good people, I have always loved the ModMic. Being able to connect a good sound and quality microphone to your favorite headphone to create the ultimate headset has always been my go-to, has always been my dream. And when Antlion introduces new ModMics, the ModMic UNI 2 and USB 2, I mean, of course, we gotta check it out. I have not yet cable managed this one, and that seems to be the deterrent factor when people stay away from ModMics, which is why I keep my ModMic Wireless, being able to connect it and not worry about the additional cable. But Antlion promises improved arm, better microphone quality, and better ease of use that's slightly more refined when it comes to cable management, that is. Now, I'm thinking the USB 2 version of the ModMic is going to be slightly more popular because it bypasses any sound card, any motherboard processing, and it handles all the processing on its own. You don't have to worry about it connecting into your external sound card or motherboard, and it sounds pretty freaking good where you don't have any configuration options. It's just a microphone. It is what it is, you know? So in this video, let's build the ultimate gaming headset, the new ultimate gaming headset, I guess, and also compare how the new ModMic sound versus the ModMic Wireless and some of my favorite wired and wireless gaming headsets, because we can't ignore those. If you're gonna be building your own gaming headset, it's better to also know what is out there, shall we? Now, first unboxing either of these, there's nothing special about them. In the USB version, we have the USB-A to USB-C adapter plus the mounting hardware, and in the UNI 2 version, there's just a microphone and the mounting hardware as well. And it's a nice little carrying case for each that is slightly different. So that's pretty interesting. And also the microphone bodies are slightly different too. So the USB 2 version is slightly more chunky on the actual boom arm, while the UNI 2 is a little bit more low profile. Now, the price difference of $30 is actually pretty substantial, but I guess you don't have to rely on external sound cards or sound cards in general for the USB 2 version. And they do sound very, very similar, as you will hear. And to create your own personal ultimate gaming headset, you take your favorite pair of headphones, you use a swab to clean the surface area, and with the microphone already installed, you just simply press it in place, hold it in there, and that's pretty much the installation process. The good thing is that the mounting hardware, this little magnetic teeth, are exactly the same versus the previous generation of ModMics. So if you already have the mount, then you can still use the new ModMics without needing to redo the whole installation again. And this was the first time I was trying to do cable management. We have these plastic clips with a slightly bigger hoop and a smaller hoop. So I use the bigger hoop on the headphone cable and the smaller one for the ModMic cable. Then you simply attach it along the cable as you see fit. So the two cables kind of are intertwined and don't dangle too far from each other. The obvious advantage of creating your own ultimate gaming headset is that you have so many options in what headphones you choose and also the microphone options as well. So right now, my DT700 Pro X closed pair, I decided to go with a USB microphone just so that I can still route them together, but they can be plugged in separately and I can just remove this thing whenever I'm not using a microphone. But also the disadvantage is, like with most gaming headsets, we have a mic side tone option that's built in that is zero latency, and so you can have some of the microphone being piped back into your headphone so you can hear what you're talking about. There's none of that with the ModMic series unless you choose to go with an open headphone, which is why my ultimate gaming headset has to be the HT5X Jubilee. One of the main reasons I gravitate towards this headphone is because it's kind of timeless. Not only in the comfort department, using this thing every single day since launch has been absolutely not a problem, but it has a wonderful sound characteristic and drivers for the gaming environment that opens up your sound stage, that has a tiny amount of bass. You know, they're not too flat, they're still fun, and because they're open, it actually is a perfect candidate for a microphone because you can hear what you're saying on the outside environment without needing to rely on any form of side tone software that normally introduces a lot of lag, especially like the mic side tone that's built into Windows is just horrible. There's way too much lag in there. And as you notice, I put the ModMic UNI 2 on my right side on this headphone and not on the left, just because of how the cabling works with my setup and my gaming space. Everything kind of goes to the right instead of the left, and both microphones have an inline mute switch, and that's the only interaction you have with the microphone. So you have to adjust the gain in Windows, and both of them are very similar in the gain, so at about 80% volume. With the microphone, I'm happy with it not peaking, not being too loud, or not being too quiet. Now, in terms of noise reduction, this thing doesn't have any. It does have natural noise compression of the background, which is great. It does not fully isolate your keyboard strokes though. So if you're hammering on the keyboard, that would be definitely picked up. But in a gaming environment, for example, with mouse clicks, you can hear it is sort of audible, but at least the new Uni 2 sounds way more full and way better than the previous ModMic Uni. So here's the previous ModMic Uni. It is a lot less sensitive, as I can see. I have to up my gain to maybe around 90% instead of 80 on the Uni 2. And you can hear it doesn't sound as full. It's a little bit more flat. It's a little bit more basic. And in terms of noise cancellation or background compression, I'm sure it's also potentially slightly worse, because the Uni 2 adds way more body to the low end, which is way more pleasant versus listen to something like this. We have already heard USB 2 and Uni 2 sound very similar. So now USB 2, I'm wondering how it handles background compression and keyboard strokes right underneath the microphone. Of course, I'm just hammering on the keys just to see how it picks up. That's not realistic scenario. Here's a more realistic scenario: spacebar, WSD. As a fun reference point, here's the Kimura Solo IEM, another product from Antline that combines an IEM with an interchangeable microphone that you can connect to other IEM as long as the connection is the same one. And the microphone, from what I remember, was pretty decent in this sort of category, but definitely does not compare to the Uni 2 or the USB 2. It's also a lot less sensitive, so I either have to speak up or increase the gain in the software. Next up is the VIRTUOSO Pro from Corsair. The reason why it's in here is because it's one of the very few open gaming headsets with a pretty decent microphone. So let me know how it sounds to your ears compared to the USB 2 or the Uni 2. But to be honest, comfort-wise, I would choose the 5.8X with the ModMic attached, because the cabling on this thing, because it's braided, is creating so much cable noise that goes directly into the damn headset. And probably when I'm touching this, you can even hear it getting picked up by the microphone. It's crazy. Noise cancellation or background compression is very poor. Okay? Very poor. Of course, I gotta include the H6 Pro in here, the previous Sennheiser, then turned EPOS, then turned out of business product. Hopefully this doesn't break on me anytime soon, because I absolutely love the comfort. I do love the open design for a gaming environment, and especially in my space, being able to hear what's happening is crucial. And the microphone is also much closer to the mouth, so let's see how it handles in terms of noise suppression of the keyboard strokes and just regular background compression as well. Microphone sounds decent. I would definitely keep this, and if you can find this thing on sale, I mean, pick it up for sure. Of course, we cannot ignore the wireless space. Here we have the Razer Blackshark V2 Pro updated edition. It sounds absolutely wonderful in terms of the low end, in terms of clarity. It sounds like a beautiful condenser microphone that's really, really close to your mouth. And in terms of keyboard strokes and background compression, actually does a decent job. I do have it set to the broadcast preset in Razer Synapse with mic noise cancellation applied to 10%, because going anything above it introduces something that I don't particularly like. But at 10%, it does just the right amount of job to cancel out the background and really zero your hearing onto the vocals just by themselves. It's awesome. My other wireless inclusion is the Beyerdynamic MMX200. It's wireless. Comfort-wise, it's not the best, but the microphone is leading, definitely top 5 in the wireless space. It sounds full. It has beautiful compression. If you're in the market for the priority in the microphone quality, this, especially because it's driverless too, is definitely one of my top picks for sure. And of course, we can't ignore the ModMic Wireless. I think for the convenience factor, it's still awesome because there is no cable. It's about the same age as the ModMic Uni, about 5 years old. Actually, it is the same. I think they all came out at the same time. And in terms of sound quality, let me know what you think. The convenience factor is definitely awesome. Not having a cable and still being able to attach this to any headphone is absolutely fantastic. It is definitely in due for an upgrade because it's still running micro USB. But in terms of microphone vocal quality, let me know what you think, especially in comparison to the new Uni 2 and USB 2. And backward compression is almost non-existent. There is a little bit of canceling out some of the room, but when it comes to canceling out stuff that's on your desk with keyboard strokes and mouse clicks, there's something more to be desired for sure. Now, I think the most interesting thing for me would be to kind of get an idea of where you guys are sitting when it comes to external microphones. Are you using microphones in games in general? As I was going through my library, most of the games that I'm playing right now are not multiplayer, are single player where I don't need a microphone, but the fact that I can just pop this in for a team call, for a briefing, for anything that might require a microphone in the gaming space is really, really convenient. Although, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have been like full on in the wireless space, you know, the G Pro, what is this? G Pro X Wireless something from Logitech, the headset. And I've been using the Razer for all my calls just because of how good the microphone sounds. But it's really nice to explore all the other options, especially when it comes to choosing your own favorite headphone in whatever scenario you might actually need a microphone. And also this thing EQs super well. Right now you've been listening to with a tiny little EQ adjustment in post-production that sounds actually super, super decent. And there isn't much cable noise, which is nice. And the cable isn't so heavy, so when I route it along my main cable in the headphone, it kind of disappears, and I can remove this very easily. And right now it's in my periphery vision, but if I put it up, I cannot see it no more. All right, guys, let me know what you think of the ModMic quality, the new UNI 2 and the USB 2 in the comments below. I'm Dmitry, and I'll talk to you in the next video.